one person, but I'm telling you, sometimes you just gotta be in the place where the money and the negotiations are taking place. And just take that risk to be there. I'm so excited to be here, and I wanna jump right in. And I cannot wait to share with you how we have been able to monetize our 3 patents, and this is so strategic, I'm right after Sherrill, our 3 patents on Gabby bows to secure and negotiate 7 licensing deals in 7 months. And I've got 3 ways that you can practically start doing that today. But first, a message from my sponsor.
Hi, GSP fans.
Oops. I want to make sure y'all heard her. Uh-oh. Go back one more time. Click it one more time. I clicked it. Click it one more time. Okay. All right, I want y'all to hear from her, because I don't think y'all care that me and Mike are here. Like, I started to put on a sign or a t-shirt. It was, where's Gabby? I ain't seen some of y'all in 6 months, and y'all, where's Gabby? So I had to ask Gabby to share with you where she is. Just hold 1 second. All right. So 3 ways that we have been able to monetize our 3 patents, 7 licensing deals in 7 months. I cannot wait to share those.
Hi, TSP fam. I know you all are asking my parents, where is Gabby? Well, you do have to remember that I am a junior in high school, so I am at school keeping up with my 5 AP classes and also everything else that goes along with being a junior. But I wanted to come on here and say I miss you all so much. I wish I could be there. But I hope you all are having a great time listening to my parents speak, both of them, and I wish I was there to see them too. But also just wanted to say thank you for your support and continued support throughout our journey. And I will see you all in June for TSP Live. Bye.
I'm a proud mama. I know y'all are proud aunties and proud uncles as well. She's come such a long way. When I see her speak, as she did a year ago at Game Plan, about how she hit 6 figures by the 6th grade and shared that a year ago, I can't help but think back to when we first got started. So we got started because at 5 years old, I was interrogating her every single day after I'd spend 10, 15 minutes doing her hair, and she'd come home with half of the barrettes missing. Hair, hot mess. She was in daycare, and she was at a daycare, and the teachers were so attentive. They would send pictures throughout the day of all the activities. And I didn't even care what they were doing. I didn't care that they were playing with clay and all that type of stuff. I was freaking out because every picture they sent, Gabby's hair was looking like I did nothing to it that morning. Can I get a witness? Like, you put some time into that. You take a lot of pride in making sure that your daughter and your son look good, and it looks like I hadn't been doing anything. So every day she'd come home, I'm interrogating her. What happened to your bows? Did somebody pull your bows? Are you taking out your bows? Like, what is going on? I got online one day and was talking about how I was just so frustrated about this. A bunch of other moms just started going back and forth with me too about barrettes that, you know, maybe could work. Have you tried this type of barrette or whatever? Our pastor jumped into this conversation with all these women and just simply replied to me, sounds like a market you need to break into. Nah, Pastor, I wasn't trying to break into anything. You heard, I've got a bunch of other things going on. But out of respect, I replied back and said, yes, sir, I'll look right into it. I wasn't planning on doing anything. But a couple of weeks later, I was styling Gabby's hair, and I did not know that that was still on my mind. I said something I thought under my breath but I was audible. Gabby jumped out of the seat, 5 years old. She said, Mommy, are we gonna make a bow? And I can't even remember what I said. I think I said something like, man, somebody needs to make a bow that's gonna stay in your hair, because, Mommy, are we gonna make a bow? And I said something just to kind of brush her off. I picked her up that day, and then every day after that, she kept asking me, Mommy, when are we gonna make my bow? I never forget, we were in Publix one day, and she said, Mommy, are my bows gonna be sold in Publix? And I was like, whoa. She's really serious about this. So at that time, I wanted to make sure that I was instilling confidence in her. And I would just, say things like, if you believe you can do it, you can do anything, baby. And then I'd turn my head and be like, this chick, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to create a bow. But what we started was just in our kitchen table as a science project, comparing barrettes. And my wildest dream is that we come up with a concept and we just sell it, put some money aside for college. But almost 10 years later, it became a whole lot more than I thought it would be. I remember the first time that we shot a professional commercial. And I'm saying commercial, it was just on Facebook. But I hired a friend who, knew how to do video. It was him, a makeup person, and our hairstylist. And we had a room. And Gabby and I had wrote the script, and we were introducing Gabby bows. We were launching. She was 7 years old. We had gone over the lines. She knew her lines. We were about to shoot. They turned the lights on. She panicked, crying uncontrollably. I had to end up taking over her lines. She did, I guess she takes credit for one of the lines that we did together right at the end, like 2 words. But she had a necklace on from her godmother, and she was gripping onto that thing for dear life. She was so afraid, like extremely afraid, like deathly afraid, so timid, so much to tears. She struggled with that for years. Now, I know y'all don't believe that because she was just on this stage speaking to 1,000 adults a year ago. But she literally would panic at vendor shows and those type things. And I knew I had to do something to help her with her confidence. I didn't want her to struggle like I did. And I was on Facebook, and Black BizScope was introduced to me. Anybody familiar with Black BizScope? Remember Black BizScope? We probably got some Black BizScope fans back there. But Pamela Booker, Christine St. Ville, Adia Rogers had set up this platform on Periscope where they were introducing Black-owned businesses to their followers. I said, this is a good way to get Gabby some practice, some reps, get her feeling good. We go live on Periscope. And all of the aunties were on the other side of the screen. Yes, baby. Yes, girl. Oh, yes. All of the hearts, and I would tell her, she would see the hearts, and she just felt so much more confident. So that is how she became much more confident in speaking, going live, and those type things. Every now and then, Periscope or Black BizScope would have a guest. And there was a guest named Lamar Tyler. This is back in 2015. So Lamar gets on the phone, and I'm mesmerized because he's talking about traffic, sales, and profit. In 2015, we had just gotten the opportunity to launch within 6 months of starting in 40 Walgreens stores in 2 states. 6 months. We had already been given the agreement or red light or green light that we would expand into 400 more stores in 4 more states. Y'all not impressed by that? Okay, give it a little clap or something. Y'all do like that. Well, I'm in 500 Walgreens stores. So that was going on. And then within another 6 months, we were out of all those stores. We weren't ready to be in Walgreens. We didn't have the margins or anything else. So we were yanked out off the shelves. That was 99% of our business. We didn't have a business anymore. And here is Lamar Tyler talking about traffic, sales, and profit, and how the gatekeeper was gone, and how you could directly get to consumers through your website and through website conversion. And I was just like, wow, this is amazing. I've never heard anything like this before. When we get off the call, I stalk Lamar Tyler on Facebook. I sent a friend request, I sent in DMs, He's ignoring me, as he probably should have. He didn't know who I was. But I kept asking. I said, my daughter has this big dream. Like, she wants to change the way all barrettes are made. And we really need some help. We just get kicked out of retail. We don't even have a business anymore. I really need some help. He said, well, I don't do one-on-one coaching. Y'all heard him say that. He still says that now. I don't do one-on-one coaching. I said, could you make an exception for me? Here's a picture of my daughter, 7 years old. I wore him down, and he took us on as his first client. I think now he's maybe took on like 2 more, and then he stopped completely, created the mastermind, and of course, the rest is history. So I got a free ticket to the first TSP Live. This is in 2016. And we haven't missed an event since. He finally got a chance to meet Gabby at a Black Enterprise event in Texas. Did I see Arsha here somewhere? I thought I did. Yes, how are you? Her and her husband won, I think, the Black Business Family of the Year award. Gabby was up for Teenpreneur of the Year and lost. You remember seeing her crying at the table. But she won the next year. She didn't quit. She didn't give up. Lamar and Ronnie in this community helped Gabby hit 6 figures by the 6th grade. And she's continuing to grow and blossom. And our family just would not be where we are. My husband is here, of course. His business, MTG Comedy, is also a member of the mastermind. Oh, baby. All right, let's try not to get distracted. We own our headquarters because of Lamar and Ronnie in the TSP community. We own our business headquarters. We're not renting from anybody else. We're selling out Mike Goodwin, Big Dad Energy comedy tour shows because Ronnie and Lamar were selling out theaters years ago and have been giving us the blueprint. So I'm grateful. I'm honored to be on this stage. But with all of that, a week ago, I was about to call Lamar and tell him I couldn't speak today. 2023 was our most challenging year financially. I know a lot of people can identify. I had to lay off people. That was the most gut-wrenching thing that I ever had. And we didn't have a large team, but 1 person, 2 people. We had to lay off 2 people. It just really did something to me. And the L's just kept stacking up. I mean, just denial after denial and this. And anybody know what that's like? I know everybody's not dealing with that or haven't dealt with that. And I really felt, after all that we're talking about, all these accolades, all these appearances, I honestly felt like I wasn't worthy to stand on this stage today. I talked to Mike about it. He kind of humored me. He was just like, so we just gonna not go? What do you want me to tell the people when they ask where you are? You ain't never missed a TSP event and you on the agenda and you just not here? My accountability partner, Sherelle and Angela, prayed me through. Oh my goodness. Yes, still praying. Thank you. But that's the power of community. That's the power of TSP. And as I was crying and praying about some of the things that were going on, I heard, if you're going through, keyword through, this for just 1 person at TSP Game Plan, is it worth it to you? And yes. I don't know who you are, you 1 person, but I'm telling you, this time that we're going to share together, and I pray it's already been transformative for you, just me being able to share. Now, there's been an overwhelming theme the last couple of days about don't quit, believe, all of those, keep going. I want to share with you that the thing that I had been working so diligently for Gabby to build, her confidence, was really my major struggle. And my confidence had been impacted by a broken heart. And I'm going to share this and I'm going to move on because I feel like I need to share it. I've mentioned Gabby's godmother, my best friend of 37 years, Mika. I found her going home to be with the Lord from COVID in 2021. And I had gone through grief counseling, I had gone through grief therapy, and thought that I had gotten to a place where I could just continue to function. But what I recognized I did not do was deal with the trauma associated with that day. So for the one person that I'm going through this for, I want to encourage you that you may need to dig a little deeper, like I have with a therapist, about what is impacting your ability to believe. Maybe there's something there. Maybe there's something there that's impacting your confidence. And if just me being here and sharing and standing in my rightful place on this stage, for me and for you, encourages you, I want you to do that. All right, let's get into licensing. Now, licensing, what is licensing? Anybody familiar with licensing? Listen, I wasn't familiar with licensing 7 months ago. So I'm really excited to share this with you. Now, licensing is really just leasing. So if you've leased a car before, you've leased office space before, it's basically the same thing. It's a leasing agreement with someone who owns intellectual property in the form of a copyright or a trademark for an agreed upon period of time to enhance your product, your service, or whatever that you're looking to promote. Now, it is a strategy that also allows others to use your intellectual property in exchange for a fee, okay? So I want you to be thinking as I'm talking about licensing, and I'll show you how in our 7 licensing deals, we're not only the licensee, but we're also the licensor in some of those deals. And I don't want you to write this conversation off. I don't want you to be like, well, I'm not a product-based business. I don't have an accessory. I believe licensing is a strategy that all of us can use. Whether you're product-based or service-based, you have content, you have something that someone can pay you for through passive income while you sleep through the idea and strategy of licensing. It's often overlooked, but it's everywhere you look. Let me give you a classic example. Barbie, oh my goodness. Barbie was everywhere. Everything was pink. The whole licensing industry is over $340 billion industry. Anybody want to guess how much money Mattel made through licensing deals off of Barbie during that movie? Somebody give me a guess. $125 billion just off licensing deals. So when people had outfits and t-shirts and all of the Barbie stuff that you saw people doing, lipsticks, and it was everywhere. Hot pink, everything. They made a lot of money because they own that brand of Barbie, and people had to go through them in order to use Barbie, okay? So I hope you're already thinking, what property do you own? And it may not necessarily be, well, I don't have a patent or a trademark, but let's keep going. This is a lot of money in an industry that we don't think a whole lot about. So this is a very simple way, and I've got an example of Bob's T-shirt company. For the sake of relevance, let's call him Bobby. You probably don't have an Uncle Bob. You got an Uncle Bobby, though. Everybody got an Uncle Bobby. So Uncle Bobby's T-shirt company. Uncle Bobby has black T-shirts. They're great T-shirts. People love buying his black T-shirts. But Uncle Bobby can make a whole lot more money and sell a whole lot more black T-shirts if he had a Batman emblem on the front of them, don't you think? Because people who love Batman will start patronizing Uncle Bobby's business because they want Batman there. So Warner Brothers, though, owns the property of Batman. So Warner Brothers is the licensor, and Uncle Bobby is the licensee. He gets a licensing agreement to lease the property of Batman from Warner Brothers for a period of time. Most licensing deals are 2 to 3 years at a time. They can be renewable if everything is going well. And in exchange for him being able to lease or use that property, he kicks back a royalty to Warner Brothers. Passive income while Warner Brothers sleeps. But in exchange, Uncle Bobby is able to advertise that he's got Batman t-shirts, and when the new Batman movie comes out, he's able to make a whole lot more because he's borrowing or buying the followers and the fans of Batman. Uncle Bobby pays a fee, usually up front, to Warner Brothers, and then issues a royalty for that period of time. So there are a lot of benefits to licensing. Revenue generation, income diversification, passive income, as I've already shared. Brand expansion. You know, you're able to share more products that your brand has. Market reach, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute. And then, of course, intellectual property protection. Our attorney, Mastermind alum, Raven Willis, we're constantly going to her because people love taking Gabby's image and putting it, slapping it on some flashcards or craft kits or books or all different types of things without our permission. They do. So, and this really can happen to anybody. If you got a powerful story and you want, people want to feature you. So we're always going after, as Sherrill mentioned, ways you can always protect your property also through licensing. Now, this is really an industry we've really not tapped into in the Black community in particular, especially as it relates to our children. There was a study back in 2018 that 5.6% of 1,500 characters involved Black characters on kids' TV and film. Everybody remembers Doc McStuffins. Doc McStuffins was the first animated preschool series in the U.S. that had a leading Black character. I couldn't believe that. Like Doc McStuffins, that just happened. That run ended in 2020, but that was the first. So there will be Black characters, but they're usually the friend of the leading character. They're not the character. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done as it relates to diversity in licensing and particularly with characters. Licensing International, that I'm going to reference quite a bit, they recognize this. So they've got DEI programs, they've done studies, they've got an accelerator that we were just accepted into. They're really trying to level the playing field, if you will, as it relates to adding more diversity. Unfortunately, they're just not there are not enough Black-owned character brands to do licensing deals with. I'm looking at some people who've got children's books. Raise your hands at me. Okay, I see. I was Chris, so I'm thinking about you. Thinking about Jay. There's so many. You got, yes. So as a character brand, I know you've released a book, but that is a character that someone could lease the use for to create other products for that character. And I'll give you some examples about how that works. One of my favorite case studies, Afro Unicorn. April Showers, we got the opportunity to meet her at the licensing expo this summer. Familiar with Afro Unicorn, the brand Afro Unicorn? So she has created a character. This is basically a unicorn with an afro. Y'all, this is not hard, all right? She loves unicorns. She didn't like that the unicorn's hair was straight, so she created a unicorn with an afro, and it's called the Afro Unicorn. So unique and empowering. There's not a whole lot of these characters out there, so many people have flocked to her. She was the first Black-owned brand to have her character made for Walmart's party supply. Like, there had never been a Black-owned company that had Black-owned character party supplies. Can y'all believe this? It's 2024. She was the first. And she's ridden that wave through a viral video with somebody with a t-shirt of an Afro Unicorn character. Now her partners produce, and let me clarify, partners. April Showers doesn't have a warehouse. She's not paying manufacturing costs. She's not making the 500 products that are out there, with school supplies and clothes and party supplies. Her partners are they're paying the money to make those products, and she's reaping the benefits through royalties, money while she sleeps. So if anybody's following her, you're just like, how this chick just came out with a book, a hair product line, and a stuffed animal in one weekend? And she literally is doing that. She's doing it through licensing. So she's just brokering deals and collecting revenue checks. Who else has a character that they could just be collecting royalty checks from? Okay? So that's the product side. Her products are in 40,000 stores. She couldn't have done this on her own in this short a period of time. She had to work with partners. Gosh, I gotta go back again. Shaina Campbell, Mastermind fan, where are you? All right. Y'all see her. Listen, I don't want you to count this out because you're like, well, I don't have a product. I don't have a cute character. You may have content. You're an expert at something. And what Shaina has been able to do is she's been able to secure 5 licensing deals. You see the range? Some of her customers are Microsoft and Hilton. Anybody want a Microsoft or Hilton contract? Ranging from $10,000 a month or $154,000 a year. Now she's done that with her own content, and now she's helping other businesses do the same with their content. So you've got courses, you've got things that you teach people and do in your business every single day. You could do it in your sleep. And you can license that educational material and content. So I encourage you to go see her. Now, Gabby Bows, our licensing strategy, and let me quickly grab one. Of course, the Gabby Bow, double face, double snap hair barrette. The 3 things that we've done to secure these 7 licensing deals is that what our plan is to do is, now the Gabby Bow has faces that we've designed. We've designed them and created them based off things we call little girls. So this is Sweet Pea. This is Little Lady, which is a ladybug. And then we've got Daddy's Girl, which is a bow tie in honor of Mike. I know. But so the 3 things that we've done: identified opportunities, we got to the money, and then we positioned our brand. And now the first thing is, I don't want you to get overwhelmed by this, like 7 deals in 7 months. You just got to get the first deal, and you can just build off the next deals after that. All right, so these are the deals that we've negotiated. Y'all see some pretty cool names on there, right? Yes. Serena Williams, Ludacris. We've been able to do this in 7 months. So you'll see the companies that represent them, and then the launch dates that we have planned. So not only are we making, for example, we're making the Afro Unicorn Gabby Bow. We're excited about that. That's going to be one of our first. We wanted our first licensing deal to be with a Black-owned company. And then, of course, those that align with us as well. One that we're really excited about. So all the top are licensing deals where we are the licensee. With the HarperCollins book deal for a children's book, we are the licensor. So they're using Gabby's story, her likeness, and her image, and going to pay us royalties as well as a really nice advance for a children's book that'll be launching in February of 2025. Thank you. So the first thing we did, we identified licensing opportunities. And if somebody can update the clock to tell me the next 10 minutes, I'm going into that. I appreciate that. Thank you. So market research. Our deal with Karma's World really came through just a lot of Google searching and activity on LinkedIn. Where's Adrian Simpson? I'm listening to you, okay? So we've really spent a lot of time on LinkedIn. I've been Googling, and I've set Google alerts for licensing deals with certain keywords of things that I'm looking for. So I kept seeing articles about a Karma's World licensing deal with two natural hair type brands and products. And I said, well, I want in on some of that. So I saw the people's name listed, because in all those articles and press releases, they're going to have a VP of somebody with a quote. So I'm going to find that person. I'm reaching out to them to connect with them on LinkedIn. I look for the company, and I send requests to everybody associated with that company. And my phone is going off. Mike was like, what are you doing? It's like ding, 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 ding. I'm sending everybody requests. I'm starting engagement with them. So they post the article. I'm congratulating them. I'm sharing the article. I'm getting really engaged with the people that I know I want to secure a deal with. And then I slide in the DMs. And I'll show you some examples of that. I also subscribe to the licensing newsletter, so licensingglobal.com. If you are serious about getting into this industry, that is where you should be subscribing to newsletters. There's newsletters that come out every single day about some of the deals that are being struck. Now, most of the time, they're the big deals, but you're able to see the trends and what people are trying to do and how your brand, how your intellectual property can fit. So we were looking out for brands where there was alignment. You know, do we serve the same customers already? Are my customers already wearing Afro Unicorn? So let me see if I maybe need to partner with them. Are my customers already buying this toy? Are they already buying this book? How can we align and partner in that way? And of course, connecting through social media. Some practical examples. Now, I have two younger nieces. Guess what they got for Christmas? Afro Unicorn dresses. And I tagged Afro Unicorn, and I shared their things. I was just very engaged in their social media posts, congratulating them. So we started starting a relationship online. So then I was able to slide in the DMs. And this is it, y'all. This was the beginning of our first licensing deal. This is not complicated. You can literally take a screenshot and copy it. We set up a meeting. We got on Zoom and started talking. You know, we were positioned. I'll talk about that in a little bit. That's how that licensing deal got taken care of. I told you about 9 Story and the Ludacris brand. I found that vice president. We slid in the DMs on LinkedIn and set up a meeting, and we were able to secure that licensing deal as well. As we started engaging with the people in licensing, I think other people started seeing that we were talking in some of the same conversations and comments and posts. And then I wake up one morning and there's a DM to us. And I was like, okay, this is different. Somebody slid into my DMs. This is nice. And this was from Serena Williams' brand for Quay Quay, the doll that she's created for her daughter. And they basically said, you can read it yourself. We got an audience of 5 million followers. Say less. Let's have a conversation. Because I've been working organically to build ours, and we may be at 25. You got 5 million? Yes, we can work together. And we have been working together. We're actually going to be launching the first product with the Quay Quay brand, which will be butterfly clips on next month. So not only are we introducing Gabby bow, Quay Quay, or Afro Unicorn Gabby bows, Karma's World Gabby bows, we're doing other hair accessories. So they have contracted with us to manufacture and market all of their hair accessories attached to their brand. So we'll start with clips. We'll introduce Gabby bows. We'll do hair ties. The deal that we're negotiating right now with Trolls and Gabby's Dollhouse, which is really cool, everything is on the contract. Hairpins, all that type stuff. So really excited about tapping into some other type of markets that we haven't been tapping into before. The second point, get to the money. Go to where the money is. I was on a coaching call with Coach John Green team, Coach John. Well, I'm sorry. Coach John is still green team. Coach in my head. But I told him about our strategy for licensing, and he said, have you considered going to the licensing expo? I said, I've never heard of such a thing. I started to look it up, and we decided to attend. Now, this investment was 400% more than we had ever paid to vend and set up a booth anywhere. So it was definitely scary, but I was able to learn that every single state in their export department, in their Department of Commerce, will reimburse through a grant any type of trade show where there will be international presence. I was able to convince them that there's going to be people there from all over the world, which they were, and it was going to lead to more business that would eventually lead to exporting. And we got the whole trip covered through a reimbursement grant. So this is just a video summary of our trip to Vegas that our son Michael put together. Scared. Steve Princeton helped us exhibit there and stand out. We were able also to win the License This competition that got us a lot of attention there. So you sign up to be at this event, and they put you on an app, and they ask you to just, try to make connections and set up meetings. So we sent out meetings to all kinds of people. Nobody responded to us. We sent a meeting request to HarperCollins. They didn't respond to us. But when they saw that beautiful black girl on that banner right there and then saw us at the thing, they ended up sliding into our booth. And they wanted to have a conversation about a book deal. So sometimes you just got to be in the place where the money and the negotiations are taking place. And just take that risk to be there. The last thing is positioning yourself for success. You got to be really deliberate about the story that you are conveying. We've got experts here. Andy and Ricky's just doing an amazing job helping you to craft and develop what is that story. With every social media post, what are you saying about your brand? When we said, okay, this is our strategy and this is what we're focusing on, we changed all of our bios in our social media platforms. Whether it was LinkedIn or Instagram, we made sure it was very clear. We have 3 patents. We're ready to license with people. We wanted to make sure that we were positioned in a way that people knew that, okay, they've got intellectual property, they're ready to do business with us. We wanted to make sure that it was very clear and it was very focused, that if they did get that DM from me when they came to look at us, we looked like we were ready to do business with them. Financial positioning is also very critical as well. Capital is required. You got to pack your patience because it is slow money on the end. So don't negotiate by yourself. Takora Davis, I believe, is here, an attorney. So can't wait to answer questions tonight about some of the specifics. I want you to take action, though. What you're not going to do is listen to me and not do anything. All right? Here's your checklist on things that you can do today to take action. So I want you to come up with 2 ways that you can be a licensee and or a licensor. I want you to broaden how you're thinking about this because you can really be on both sides. We want you to make a dream list of 10 ideal companies that you would love to partner with. Hey, go all out. And we're not with Disney yet, but hey, it's on our dream list. We're going to get there. Subscribe to Licensing Global. That's absolutely free. You can do that today. Find out about your Export Incentives Program. That's the official name. I think some states call it STEP. But you may be able to access reimbursable grants to help you go to a big licensing expo or any other trade show with international presence. And I want you also to audit your story and your presence. If you want to follow our journey as we're on a mission to change the way all barrettes are made, We are documenting that on WeFunder, and I really appreciate your time and your attention. We love you, TSB. Thank you so much.